What is up, Amazon sellers? Welcome back to bi-weekly news and Q&A show. I'm your host, Chris Rasick. Christopher Grant is off celebrating Father's Day. Speaking of which, I'd like to wish all of the fathers out there very special happy Father's Day. I hope it's a great day, and I certainly appreciate you stopping by to hang out. This is a live Q&A show, so feel free to add your questions. Just pop them in the chat. I will do my best to answer them, or we can reason them out together, however you prefer, or anything you want. We'll talk about whatever you want. I've got the news that I have today is a bunch of little short hitters, real quick hitters, so it won't take too long to get through, so we can make this as interactive as you would like it to be. So normally we do an ad spot, and I don't have a pretty ad spot written up for you. So, but I will let you know that my company, if you don't know, if you aren't familiar, is OA Leads 24/7. That's oaleads247.com. I did have a couple spots just opened up this afternoon. I do a weekend list. It's a Saturday and Sunday lead list. It's designed to supplement the typical weekday lists that you usually get Monday through Friday. So it's a supplement that makes it so you can get fresh leads 7 days a week, hence the 24/7 part of the name. So a couple spots open if you go to oaleads247.com. While you're there, if you haven't already, you should sign up for the mailing list. I do a sometimes mostly kind of sort of weekly newsletter. It's not designed for breaking news. Promise me you won't get your breaking news from my newsletter. It's far too inconsistent for that. But just cover news and notes, things I find interesting. Give you a quote. I'm always usually have book deals in there. Just stuff off the front page to help you become a better entrepreneur, better seller. Mostly talking to myself in the newsletter. It's stuff that I found interesting. So sign up for that while you're there. And let's get to some news. Again, questions, say hello in the chat. Feel free. I got a couple things to cover, and then I am all yours. This is for you. So, all right. So the first thing I wanted to cover is Amazon is testing a new feature that allows customers to add fresh groceries, like fruits and vegetables, to their online shopping orders for same-day delivery. The initiative aims to make grocery shopping easier by integrating it into the regular Amazon shopping experience. However, the article does note some customers still prefer traditional grocery shopping due to concerns about the quality of delivered produce. I understand that. Obviously makes sense. But Walmart is kind of bringing grocery delivery back into fashion. So I imagine those numbers are going to climb up steadily. So basically what happens is Amazon, instead of taking you to checkout in certain cities, Amazon is showing a page with more than 100 grocery items that can be delivered same day. Most of the items so far that people are reporting and seeing are fresh produce or meat, along with some packaged foods. So Andy Jassy, the CEO, talked about the new initiative during a Q&A portion of his shareholders meeting last month. Here's his quote. We've experimented in Phoenix, Kansas City, and Orlando at this point, and so now when you're getting those items that you get same day, you can add perishables like eggs or milk or bread or yogurt. That experience is really resonating with customers. We're seeing very significant adoption, and I'm optimistic as we roll that out to many more of our same-day facilities that will lead to more of our customers buying perishables from us. So why is this interesting? Why did I think it's interesting? Mostly because the one significant advantage that Walmart has over Amazon. Amazon has a major head start. They do, depending on what numbers you're looking at, they do 10 to 30 times the volume in e-commerce sales overall. But the one distinct advantage that Walmart has is their retail store footprint. And they haven't fully executed on it, but their infrastructure with the retail stores and the ability to deliver groceries same day. There was articles that talk about, if you read some of the stuff about Target and some of the struggles that they've had recently, a lot of those blame the fact that they didn't go hard enough on grocery. They mark that as the major mistake that Target made as to why they're losing market share. So this, and we know Amazon has tried to get into grocery. They bought Whole Foods. So far, it hasn't been any kind of significant impact, not that we've seen reported at least. But this is interesting. If Amazon can make this happen, and it's another advantage to the speed of delivery. Amazon is constantly looking to tweak things and shorten the period of time from when you click the checkout button to when your package is delivered. So this is an interesting wrinkle adding groceries, and it has the potential. We'll see how it's executed, of course, but it has the potential for Amazon to make some inroads with grocery, which right now is probably Walmart's number one advantage. So, yeah, Brandon, Walmart is, yeah, I can see this argument can be made. I have questions as far as Walmart's execution. When we talked to Paul Rafelson from Seller Basics on a podcast, he had some interesting stories. He worked for Walmart corporate, and he had some interesting stories of the relationship that brick and mortar Walmart and e-commerce Walmart had. Basically, the brick and mortar CEO, they each have their own CEO, which was pretty interesting. And the CEO of the brick and mortar retail stores, he's the rock star, right? Because that's where Walmart dominates as far as where the numbers come from on the bottom line. So they kind of get special treatment, and e-commerce has always kind of been pushed away. They're kind of stayed at the little kids table. So it's interesting, and of course we know Walmart is rolling out the red carpet for third-party sellers. They have clearly announced their intention to become more significant as in terms of an e-commerce player. So so we're seeing Walmart kind of catch up. Obviously, growth rates, Walmart has a lot of catching up to do, so their growth rates are going to be much, much higher than Amazon's for a period of time. So yeah, we'll see. But that's what makes this interesting to me, is if Amazon can actually start getting any kind of traction with grocery, it'll make it all the more interesting. It's going to be interesting for, I think, a very long time, watching Amazon and Walmart go toe to toe. But you're right, Walmart is positioned as the most likely to be a serious competitor to Amazon, but they are not right now. They're not even close. But yeah, they do have the horses to do it if they want to. So, all right. So that is it's kind of interesting because, and think about the article. We're talking about, ordering whatever you order on Amazon, charging cables, and I ordered a little stand or little storage baskets or something. So it's interesting that I potentially could get a pop-up to have some bananas and raw steak delivered to me as well. So, but that's the advantage that Amazon has, trying to make delivery windows as small as possible and really pushing towards same day delivery and 1 day delivery. That's where they can kind of flex since they have such short turnarounds. All right, so what else is the news? Retail Dive did a weekly kind of rollout, and there were several interesting things that I thought from this article in Retail Dive. number one, not real relevant to Amazon sellers, but Uber and Dick's Sporting Goods have announced a partnership. Uber Technologies announced a partnership with Dick's Sporting Goods and its sister store, Golf Galaxy, this week. Shoppers can order items like athletic apparel, footwear, and golf equipment from the stores via the Uber Eats platform. The quote from Scott Cassiato, he's vice president of omni-channel fulfillment and strategy at Dick's. He said, "We believe that speed and convenience is key to our omni-channel experience, and we're excited to launch our partnership with Uber Eats as an extension of that philosophy. When those moments arise where new gear is needed, this partnership with Uber Eats extends our capabilities to give our athletes convenient shopping to get the products they need fast and in a way that is convenient for them." I don't really think this is going to play too much of a part for us, but it is interesting. There's a lot of keywords that we're familiar with, right? That part, we believe that speed and convenience is key. That's something Amazon is known for a very long time and kind of focused their growth on for quite some time. Further evidence in my unpopular theory that the beauty category is still viable and still something that sellers should look to sell in. Shakira has launched a beauty brand. I'm going to guess that it's pronounced Isima. It's Isima is the name of the brand. Pop star Shakira is hoping her hair care won't lie, just like her hips. The artist on Tuesday launched Isima, a beauty brand focused on clinically backed hair products inspired by the Latin community. These are going to become available for purchase online starting on Monday. The line includes 8 products currently at launch. It emphasizes scalp, cortex, and cuticle health, and it's meant to tackle the diverse hair types of Latin shoppers. Here's the good part. Prices range from $32 to $42. And some of the products include shampoos, conditioners, oil, serums, hair mask, and a curl perfector, whatever that is. So she goes on to say, a big part of my identity has been my hair. She tries to justify what a pop singer, what expertise the pop singer would have in beauty products, to move the conversation away from, well, everybody else is doing it and making a lot of money on it. So there's a new beauty brand to look out for, and they're popping up all the time. We tend to focus on the negatives. We tend to get sad about the products that go away. But this is just further proof that there's new products coming onto the market all the time. So I am still bullish overall on beauty, right? Because let's face it, the advantages of beauty, we've lost some brands, right? Which, and most of them weren't a surprise because they're all under, most of them were under the Estee Lauder umbrella. So it was predictable. If you dug in and you really found what companies were under Estee Lauder brands, you shouldn't have been too surprised. So, but there's, who was it? Was it Selena? No, was it who just sold for $2 billion? Was it Selena Gomez? Did she sell Rare Beauty for $2 billion, or was it Kylie Jenner? I don't know. I can't keep them straight. But there's still a lot of money, and the advantages of beauty are still exist there. They go for very high prices, and they are extremely easy to pack and ship. So be on the lookout for Shakira's new brand. Also in the news, Michaels. Let me know if I haven't heard of this until I read this article. Michaels has decided to celebrate Summerween. It's a take on summer and Halloween, if you haven't picked up on that. Craft retailer Michaels is launching beautiful products, a little play on words there, earlier than ever, right? And this is just in time for what's called Summerween. It's the unofficial June nod to Halloween that has apparently grown in popularity. Halloween is incredibly popular overall. So I guess this makes sense. So, but Michael's decor line debuts Friday. Debuted last 2 days ago, Friday the 13th. It's apropos. Collections include Trick or Treat, Sweet and Spooky, Dead Regency, Iridescent Moon, and Alice's Adventure. The quote from Chief Merchandising Officer Stacy Shively, she says, "Our customers' passion for Halloween is unmatched, and the incredible enthusiasm for last year's collections made one thing clear: we had to go bigger and bolder than ever before." She said, "This year, we're thrilled to deliver our most expansive and creatively daring Halloween assortment to date." So, yeah, I think it's interesting. I mean, these are the kind of trends. I never understood, the memes and stuff about Halloween. People almost treat it like Christmas these days. So it's interesting. I don't understand it, but I don't need to understand it. I just, as long as I know that it's popular, it's another thing that we can look to source and take advantage of as we flip stuff on Amazon and our other channels. So I got another small piece of news. Keep popping the questions in there. I'll get to your comments and questions here very shortly. eBay. There's eBay news that I thought was kind of interesting. Not sure the impact, but eBay is taking live shopping on tour. eBay's launching a live shopping tour starting yesterday, June 14th. And it features in-person and online events for collectors. The tour will showcase top sellers and special guests, and they will have live broadcasts from various hobby shops and conventions. That's going to run all the way through November, and it includes stops in cities like Los Angeles and New York City. Now, this isn't, not sure this is anything that we can fully take advantage of. However, I do appreciate eBay making the news and doing something. It is my preferred channel to move overstock, move my death pile, and whatnot. So I'm always rooting for eBay to remain relevant. And it is interesting to see them try to get in on the live shopping, which is proving very popular. TikTok has it perfected. I know Facebook does it. My wife spends a whole bunch of money on Facebook Lives, whatnot, of course. And it's been popular in places like China for years and years and years. So it is interesting. And eBay, they've kind of just been the old standby. They're certainly not one. You don't think of innovation when you think of eBay. So I do like that they're making some headlines and trying to become more relevant. I think it's good for us sellers that they use that as one of our excess channels to move our inventory. So and then so Sunday show, we always try to give you a law or a razor or something like that. And I thought today was a good time to talk about something that we've talked about before, something you're probably familiar with. It's become fairly popular recently. But I think it has a special meaning today, being Father's Day. And that'll make sense here in a little bit when I summarize. But let me get to this little write-up that I prepared for you. If you're not familiar, imposter syndrome is that delightful little voice that whispers, "You're a fraud," even while you're building something from scratch like an Amazon store, and pulling off minor miracles on a daily basis, like keeping your account active and fighting all the account health issues that we have to fight. It's the mental equivalent of getting promoted and immediately thinking HR made a mistake. Entrepreneurs get hit especially hard because we're really making it up as we go along. We wear all the hats, and we put out all the fires because we're the only person there to do it. So we are making it up as we go along quite a bit. But here's the thing that we've always said about imposter syndrome is so is everyone else. The difference with entrepreneurs, though, some people are better at faking confidence on places like LinkedIn and Twitter and whatnot. But here's the deal with imposter syndrome. Doubt shows up because you're doing something bold, right? You don't need to feel qualified to take action. You need to take action to become qualified. So the advice with imposter syndrome is keep going. You earn the title and you earn the experience by not quitting. That's simply the most important part. And why do I want to bring this up on Father's Day? Because I think imposter syndrome is present when you have children as well. I experience it from a business perspective, and I experience it as a parent as well. I have questioned my abilities as a father multiple times. And I like to. I was just talking to somebody earlier today. I typed out an email that I'm going back and forth with someone, and I like to take the same advice that I've heard about the people that I look up to professionally, and the advice goes along. It's something along the lines of everyone is making it up as they go along. Even the people you look up to, the people that you think have it all figured out, the people who are wildly successful, we'd be shocked if we knew how much they're making it up as they go along. And it's something that we all share, and I think that's the one thing that we don't realize enough. So when it comes to Father's Day and celebrating fathers, my advice, unsolicited advice, apologize in advance, would be to not beat yourself up about your fatherly skills. I think the best thing we can do is try to be better. Whether you had a good childhood or a bad childhood, just be a better version, better father than the one you had. And if you can do that, you're doing great. So with that said, happy Father's Day to everyone out there. Again, it's worth saying again, this is a very special holiday. I hate the fact that they try to lump us in with dads and grads. I kind of resent that. But oh well, that's a tangent for another time. So, all right. So let's see what we have in the chat. Again, appreciate you spending some of your Sunday with us here. Yeah. So, Brandon, yeah, you have questions about Walmart's capabilities to compete. Yeah, that's the question. It's hot and heavy right now. Everyone's loving Walmart, understandably so. They're making it very, very easy. Everything's great. But this is what they call the network effect. If you think it's always going to be great, you go over to Walmart and you're all pissy with Amazon. And you're like, I'm taking my ball and I'm going over to Walmart. Things are going to be good for a very long time, potentially, until Walmart needs to cut some costs. The shipping rates sure seem unsustainable. They're probably subsidizing those a little bit. They're making them multiple ways. They're making themselves seem more attractive, because they're trying to draw the sellers in. That's what happens with the network effect. And then once you have enough sellers, then they can start tightening screws here and there to make the numbers work for them. Here's the thing, and not enough people realize this, and I'll frame it from the perspective of Amazon. And again, Paul Rafelson said the same thing on the podcast episode that we had with them. Amazon is going to do what's in the best interest of Amazon. Okay. And that means, if they do something and it has a negative effect on sellers, that's kind of what you're seeing right now. A lot with the negative attitude and negative comments that a lot of sellers have towards Amazon right now. But here's the kicker. That's not a unique perspective. Okay. Walmart is going to do what's in the best interest of Walmart. And right now, the best interest of Walmart, they've determined, is to embrace their third-party seller marketplace. and they're experiencing massive growth right now. And that just so happens that the benefit of that is a positive to the sellers. And that's not always going to be the case. That's what you need to realize. The network effect, once they get what they need, if their needs change, there could be changes that aren't so positive from a seller perspective. So I'm not saying to stay away from Walmart, it's still diversification is positive. Don't get me wrong. If you want to move over to Walmart, if you want to add it as a secondary channel, absolutely you should. This is probably the best time to do something like that. However, just be prepared that things may not be rosy forever, but it is certainly an opportunity. So what else do we have? Ryan wants to know, can we create our own listings on Walmart? That is a good question. I am not sure. I'm trying to remember. I don't even make my own listings on Amazon. So that's not something that I pay attention to, unfortunately. So I might have zoned out on that portion of the the Walmart challenge. Not that it wasn't a great program. If you went through it, Sarah did a great job. It was very helpful. But yeah, I'm not sure. I would imagine you could. I don't see why not. I don't recall anything of anybody talking about having difficulties doing so. The process may be a little rough right now. And that's true for a wide range of things. Walmart is still kind of working out the kinks. So, but I do know that there is a way to get basically a representative, sort of like a liaison to help you with your account. I would look into that, and I would raise those questions to find out if that's something you can do. But I'd imagine you could. I don't know. Let me know if anybody knows the answer to that question. Please share it and let us know. I do know that there are listings where Walmart isn't on it at all. It's all third-party sellers. However, that's not necessarily a definitive answer, because it could have been Walmart just simply going out of stock. So, yeah, I don't know. Sonic's glasses, what other platforms do I sell on? Currently, I sell on Amazon and eBay. I haven't pulled the trigger on my Walmart account yet, but I will soon. So I don't do any FBM. That's basically why I'm dragging my feet on Walmart. And honestly, I don't feel like I have the bandwidth right now. Probably do. I should probably suck it up and get on it. But I feel like I'm bullish on Amazon still. I haven't been soured enough to take some of the resources away from Amazon to this point. And I kind of it's kind of like I've always had the attitude of, like, when people talk about traveling to other countries, I've always thought that there's so much more I need to see in my country first, before I go to other countries. And that's kind of how I feel with Amazon. I think there are much higher numbers that I can achieve on Amazon. So I'm afraid to kind of dilute my attention, dilute that bandwidth to Walmart as well. I'm probably being a bit of a wuss, and I could probably do both easily, but I don't know. I'm methodical in those kind of things. So, but those are the platforms that I'm selling on currently. I think that's it. Facebook Marketplace, does that even count? Things here and there. beauty category is still a gold mine. I agree, Brandon. I think, the beauty category and Amazon as a whole, I think they're kind of running parallel as far as sentiment goes. And I think people have a bad taste in their mouth when things are taken away or, negative things happen, where I take a step back. I try to figure out why, why a brand was taken away in the beauty category or why Amazon is making a certain change. And that kind of helps me kind of zoom out and kind of look at the big picture. And I think that helps with my attitude. So, but yeah, beauty is still booming, and the category is growing overall. So, I think there's a little bit of what we lost can be made up for with new brands. Like we mentioned, Shakira coming out with hers. And I did a pretty big deep dive into brands that were only a few years old. And there were hundreds. So I think we're going to get caught on the big name brands. And that kind of, the negative is stickier in our minds, of course. So I don't think we truly realize how much opportunity there is. We kind of focus on what we lost. Lynn wishes me happy Father's Day. Thank you so much, Lynn. I appreciate that. And thanks for taking some time out of your day. Well, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. It's I like keeping the streak alive. I got my Father's Day gifts early, and I was putting out my list for Sunday anyway. It's I like talking shop. I think it makes me a better seller, just having the opportunity to jump on here and talk about it. Kind of puts me in the right frame of mind, kind of keep it top of mind, and it keeps the juices flowing a little bit. So I appreciate you guys coming out. It's over 100 people. That surprises me. Luke, happy Father's Day to you too, sir. Thanks for hopping in. And Luke, I've created a few listings on my own. I assume this is Walmart, because you've never even attempted it on Amazon. So there you go. There's the answer. You can create your own listings on Walmart. Yeah, tons of FBM. Chris Grant has done several FBM orders through Walmart. I know he's moving a lot of his dead stock death pile, and he's shipping it himself on the Walmart marketplace. Christian says, "Hi, Chris. Looking to start working with a second prep center. All right. Any tips or advice?" Current one is on the East Coast. Well, this potential second prep will be on the West Coast. Yeah, that's how I want to. That's how I do it. And that's how I want to go about it. I did the same thing. I started on the East Coast. I've had a New Hampshire prep center for years and years. I added a West Coast prep center, and especially, and I did that even before all this inventory placement and whatnot. So I can't give you any numbers on the advantage that gave me, but I feel it's nice to have the flexibility, right? Because you have what I found is the West Coast prep center is a little more expensive as far as shipping, because they, for some reason, unless I have something set up incorrectly, a lot of it ends up going east anyway. so that gets a little expensive. But yeah, it's nice to have the flexibility, where you can if you have your numbers dialed in specifically on shipping costs and whatnot, if you're a little bit tight on something, you can send it to the cheaper of the two. Not to mention, and this is my favorite part, is once you have inventory going to both coasts, and they have their own schedules of like the way my West Coast Prep Center, I have a day of the week, right? And every single Thursday, it changed. I think it's Thursday now. But every Thursday they take whatever's on my shelf, whatever's been received, box it up, send it in. The East Coast Prep Center, I actually create my own batches. So I kind of monitor, they mark stuff received as it comes in. So I can see on our shared spreadsheet exactly what I have that is in their warehouse, and I can determine whatever number I want it to be, whether it's like, okay, once I get at least 100, I'm going to make a shipment, right? So I have shipments from both coasts headed towards Amazon, and it always ends up being staggered. So I love the idea and the process of having multiple shipments just staggered throughout the week, just boxes going live all the time. It's a real good feeling. So, and you're covered in case anything happens. I've had, I've switched my East Coast Prep Center. There was an issue with one change of ownership. You'll have stuff like that, change of location. They may go down for a couple days. The API change that Amazon just had, it threw some of the prep centers for a loop, depending on what their process is. So you can absorb any downtime, if you're running two prep centers. So, as far as advice, if you have somebody that you're looking at already, I know who are the two West guys. I mean, number one is Network Prep. Chaz is a friend of the show, longtime collaborator with Chris Grant. So I know he runs a quality organization over in Oregon. And I believe Chris also recommends a place called Proven Prep. I can't remember the name of the gentleman that owns that, but I know Chris has recommended that. So those are the two on the West Coast. So. Yeah, well, there we go. It segues into Prep Center recommendations. Network Prep, that's Oregon. Tax-free. Proven Prep is another one that has been recommended. I don't have personal experience with Proven, but I know they get Chris Grant's recommendation. East Coast, East Coast is a little bit lighter. I know we have Joel from Tax-free Prep Center. Zero Tax. Yeah, Zero Tax Prep Center. That is a new one, but I've tested him out, and he's running a quality organization. I mean, like really, really good right out of the gate. So they're newer on the scene, but they are friends of the show. He shows up frequently. His name is Joel. You might see him in the comments. Maybe I need to scroll down, see if he was in there. I don't think he's here today, but he joins frequently. And he says hello. He's seems, all indications point to him being a good dude. I don't know if I can recommend my primary East Coast Prep Center, because they're fairly new, and I know she talked about only kind of, it was invite only essentially, as they kind of worked out the kinks and whatnot. So I actually have a message over to her to see if she's bringing on anybody, whether she's opened the doors for new clients, or whether she's still getting set up. So, but yeah, that's two on the West, two on the East. Yeah, East Coast. Joel at Zero Tax. I know I don't know what we can say publicly or not, but I've tested things out in the beginning. I know the process. I like it. It's easy. Communication has been excellent, and the process is pretty strong. From what I've experienced, I like how he's running things there. And Luke, if I hear from my other person in New Hampshire, I'll let you know. I can send you a message if I get the okay to send, share her prep center with other people. So, Marissa, when not ungated in many products and a lot of competition with the already ungated products that everybody is on, how to navigate this? The primary thing you can do is when you do find a brand that you are ungated, you want to go down that rabbit hole for sure. You want to see exactly how many products they have on the catalog. Make sure you are, if you go to the Amazon listing, make sure there's a clickable brand that will show. Make sure you open that tab up, see what that brand has on the catalog, and then you can reverse source from there. Like if you're ungated in Marvel, Marvel Comics. I know that's not likely for beginner sellers, but hypothetically, say you were ungated in Marvel, you go to the Amazon product page of the item that you're ungated in, and then I would open up Marvel in a new tab, and that will bring up all the products. It basically performs a keyword search for the term Marvel, and it'll give you a bunch of products, right? And then if you have something like RevSeller, you can activate the widget where it'll actually give you a little data box. Once you have RevSeller hooked up, it'll actually tell you red, you need to apply for it, or the green sell, meaning that you're approved. And you can basically scroll down there, and there's RevSeller has a little button that you can click that'll take you right to the Google search. It'll take the title of the product, open up a new tab, and search Google with the title of that product, so you can try to find it at certain stores. Then you can move to the Google shopping tab and see if you can get those profitably. The other thing that you could possibly do is you can look to ungate. That's a bit of a dicey scenario right now. Things are kind of in flux, so to speak, with ungating. There are stories out there where you try to get auto ungated and it doesn't auto ungate. It'll tell you that you need to, gives you the standard thing where it says they need an invoice, 10 units. And there are stories out there. I haven't experienced it myself. Not that I've tried to ungate too much. I am doing a test currently, but I don't have any answers for you right now. But there are stories out there that people are hearing that they'll get the 10, submit it to Amazon, and then all of a sudden Amazon comes back with a secondary review and ask for upwards of like 100 or more units afterwards. So you do have to be careful. It's going to depend on risk tolerance. And it's probably going to depend on, it would have to be something that for sure that you have you'd be able to get a good supply to justify the cost to ungate. Or worst case scenario, you definitely want another channel somewhere to get rid of units in case worst case scenario happens and they ask for far more than you can obtain. If they come back and ask for 200 after asking for 10, you may determine that that's a little bit too rich. That's above your risk tolerance. So you'll need to move those units on another channel. So, but other than that, Marissa, the key is to just keep sourcing. I'm yet to meet a new seller that really understands how many reps need to be put in. And I'm not saying that's you, but just from my experience and talking to sellers, I'm yet to find one that understands just how many, just how low the hit percentage is, but it's good practice as well. If you just kind of get in the habit of looking at hundreds of products during whatever, sourcing sessions that you set up, that habit is going to pay dividends as you start to unlock different brands. And try to auto ungate everything. Even if it's lit up red, don't pass it by. Click that little button and try to get on ungated. Hopefully, eventually over time, as you become more seasoned, you'll get more auto ungates that way. But even as a newer seller, you might be surprised. You might get a couple surprise congratulations messages. But just try every single time, even if you tried yesterday, click it again and try to ungate it again. All right, Christian has a Michigan prep center. Yes, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Thanks for hanging out. Okay, Christian, you're looking at network prep. Good deal. Yeah, they're it's a good operation. And you know what? You got to start talking about how long they've been around. Because sometimes it doesn't take much for a prep center to go down. So seems like every single day, the more days that go by, the more I appreciate prep centers that have been around as long as I can remember, and if not longer. Kyle Curtis, thank you, Sarah. Yeah, Kyle Curtis runs Proven Prep. They are in Oregon, which is same as Network Prep. They're both no sales tax. So. Yeah, Brandon, you looking East Coast? Yep, zero tax would be your best bet. Let them know Chris and Chris sent you. I don't know if there might be a sweet deal for you. You may get a little new referral bonus or something like that. I don't know. Don't hold me to that. And Joel, if you're listening and you don't have anything, I'm sorry. Big T is in the house. What's up, my man? Yep, it's just a Chris. Just one Chris today for Father's Day. All right, set up your Walmart listings, WFS, and allows you to list for FBM. All right, there you go. Heather, hey Heather. May not be for this show, but I am diving into OA after doing mostly RA. Serious question, is there a mouse or some trick for wrist, arm, elbow? Okay, so I assume this is like just kind of like physical pains from being on the computer more than you're used to. I'd imagine. They do have they have some mouse pads that have a pad that goes on your wrist. Depends on your setup. I use a desktop primarily. I do have a laptop over there. My laptop, I got one of those stands. It's adjustable, and it kind of brings things up. Mostly, I got it for the screen to bring it up to eye level, because that's pretty important. It's once you fix it, you realize how important it is. It's not a big deal until you realize it. But yeah, I got to, it's got a weighted base on it, and then you can you can adjust it. And it's, tilt the angle and whatnot. So I do that primarily to bring the screen to eye level. But what it does is it ends up putting the keyboard on an incline. And I actually I didn't think I was going to like it, but my wrists are actually elevated, right? And it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So, but yeah, there's different pads and whatnot. I have a new computer, so I don't. I'm using what came in the box. It's just a standard, wireless mouse. But I am a big fan of the roller balls. This is what I use for my laptop, and mostly because it's, if I take it and I'm in a hotel or something like that, and it's just a little desk area, I figured it's probably easier to not have to slide the mouse around. So this is just you just use your thumb, and that controls the cursor. That may help too. That'll keep your arms stationary, and then you could just, the only thing you have to worry about is your thumb, from there. But you could actually build enough padding so that you're comfortable, and then your hand would be stationary, and then you can just kind of a flick of the thumb, and you move the cursor all around. So that's another option for you. Interview we did with Chaz. Yeah, we did. There's an episode of the podcast. It's pretty recent too. It's not that old. We had Chaz on, and it was all about prep centers. So yeah, check that out if you're looking to dive in. Okay, yeah. So it was for wrist pain. Yeah. Look into the different sized mouse. You can look in like the roller ball, like I mentioned. And then there is something, I know there are certain people that swear by bigger mouses. Are they the computer? Are they mice or mouses when you talk about the computer? I don't know, but they actually talk about a wider base so that your hand can open up more. Some people swear by that too. But yeah, and then there's probably braces and whatnot. I would imagine, I don't know if like the stuff for carpal tunnel, if that would help, if maybe that kind of stabilizes some of the tendons, and I don't know. Tony says, don't let the elbow hang in the air. So yeah, but there's a lot of, here we go. Christian says he uses an ergonomic mouse. Yeah, the vertical. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, and that's actually where your hand is like this, right? I believe so, like in a more natural position. And then yeah, that's a good tip. Ergonomic keyboard too. Another vote for the ergonomic mouse. There you go. One of the kids took your roller ball. Just to be objective, it is annoying how much I have to clean it, because you just there's different sensors inside here, so I have to actually like pop the ball out through there, and I actually have to wipe it down because it starts getting some gunk pretty quickly. You'll start feeling some resistance with the roller ball. I don't like that part, but overall, I do like it. Hey, Karen, I am not going to ASD. I should though. I grimace when I say that because I know overall, I've told myself kind of like in a non-committal sense that I need to start going to more trade shows, more events, period. Even trade shows. But I also want to start hitting some conferences. It's been on my mind for quite some time. So, but yeah, not doing ASD because the first ASD I think is February, right? We missed that, so the next one is August. And last time it came up, Chris Grant made an excellent point where he said that the thought of going to Vegas in August feels almost quite literally like a trip into hell. So I'm kind of with him there. August in the desert. Yeah, I'm not sure what event would get me all excited to do that. So. No, Heather, that's no, nothing to be sorry about. That's a real issue that, I don't think we've talked very much, if at all, about. So, yeah, that's plus, you know what? Anytime I could show those roller balls, I don't know why they didn't become more popular. I've talked to Chris about that off air because I was a big fan. Am a big fan. Present tense. So, all right. So we are pushing an hour. Let me know if you have any other questions, comments, or anything you want to talk about. We pushed over 150. Thank you so much for being here. Said it before. I said it in the middle. I'll say it again. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Hope you're having a great day. And I'll give you a couple minutes to type any last questions. I did hear a dad joke. What kind of shoes does a ninja wear? Sneakers. And you can't groan. If there's one day that dad jokes should not get any kind of flack whatsoever, it would be on Father's Day, right? So I don't want to hear it. Luke, stop typing right now, or quit looking for the eye roll emoji. Can't do it. Not today, buddy. Not today. All right. So let's call it a show right there, shall we? Have a great if you're wrapping up your work weekend, hope you finish strong. If you're getting ready for the weekday, I hope you hit the ground running. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, see you.